Hi, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Chats with Toby. As promised, today we're going to dive straight into part 2 of this 3-part series. As a really quick recap, part 1, we went over the roles and responsibilities of our that accumulate our life. We talked about the 80-20 principle and that we are ultimately trying to spend 80% of our time doing something, the things that give us the greatest level of return and happiness, and ultimately want to spend 20% of our time doing the things that we just have to do as a trade-off to be getting all these wonderful things that we are achieving and obtaining within the 80%. So today we're going to flesh out what is our genius mode, how it is that we can get more in line with our genius mode, and really knuckle down into those areas. So please bear with me. I'm going to be scribbling on my iPad here that will come up on your screen, hopefully. Yeah, we'll get cranking. Again, as a reminder, please go back to the notes that you took from your roles and responsibilities from part 1. That'll be super handy later on in this video. Pause me at any point in time that you need more time. I'm going to try and keep things relatively quick, certainly quicker than part 1, and that will push us through to part 3 on the action steps on how we can actually start to manifest this amazing life that we're trying to achieve. Cool. So without further ado, we're going to take a big oversight look at what it is that we want to do and what it is that we enjoy doing in our life today. So what I want you to do is I want you to break down a full A4 sheet of paper. I want you to split it up. We've actually potentially done this together if you've watched the Genius Mode video previously in the coffee chats, but we're going to relate this back and delve deeper into this, into the roles and responsibilities that we also went through in part 1. Cool. So splitting up the sheet, what we want to do is things that we enjoy doing. On the other side, so this is our split, things that we don't enjoy doing, things we are good at, and things that we are not good at. Perfect. So, no surprise here. What we're now going to do is we're going to fill this out. So what we want to do is we want to think about our life right now, and we want to really flesh out, ultimately, thinking about this from a personal perspective and a professional perspective. Keep it nice and broad. We're going to go into further detail in a moment, but just start dropping down things that we enjoy doing. So again, to give you a bit of an example, I enjoy growing others. I enjoy learning. I enjoy sport. Funnily enough, playing sport, not necessarily watching it, which is a bit interesting. And I could sit here and I could flesh that right out for you, but I think that kind of gives you a bit of an idea of things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy numbers, funnily enough, as well. I love maths, so I'll put that in there. Then we're going to move across. If you need to pause now, flesh that out. We're going to go then and things that we don't enjoy doing. So things that we don't like to do. So things I don't like to do, I actually don't like cooking. I love eating though, so it's a bit of a conundrum. But I don't like cooking. I don't like driving. I don't like, what do you call it when, I kind of don't like procrastination. Now, what I mean by that is, because people will be listening to me say that and go, I don't even spell that right. Procrastination. Rub that one out. I love playing video games and things like that. And people are like, well, that's procrastinating. Well, yeah, I guess. But for me, there's a purpose to it. It's to turn my mind off and give myself a break. So, yeah. Anyway, you can flesh that right out. And go into your professional life as well. It might be that you don't like report writing, which would definitely be one for me. So I don't like report writing. Anyway, you get the gist. Flesh it out, press pause, really kind of flesh that. The more detailed you can do here, obviously the better, but if I go into heaps of detail here, you'll get bored of me. So things that we are good at. So I'm really good at self-reflection. One thing I'm very good at is knowing my flaws and knowing, things that I could be better at. I'm also good at putting myself in other people's shoes. So putting others' shoes on as a metaphor. You understand what I'm talking about. Shoes on. I'm good at leading a team, and I'm good at creative thinking. Obviously, I could flesh this out, so press pause for me and do me a favor and flesh that out for me. It's really important for you to do that for me as well. Cool. Awesome. Next one I want you to go through is things that we are not good at. So in this one here, I want you to go through and I want you to really dive down in things that we're not so good at. So it might be I'm not so good at... I've often said I'm not good at managing people, but I really need to kind of go back on that. I'm not good at doing the day-to-day tasks. It just doesn't interest me. I'm a big picture guy. Things I'm not so good at is I'm not really patient. When people, I tell someone something, I help someone with something, and they don't kind of listen and take it on board. I'm not saying that my way is going to be the best way every time, but I'm not good at being patient with people who complain and whinge about things, but aren't willing to kind of look at trying to solve a problem. So there are things that I'm not so good at, and look, there's a huge list, but I won't bore you with it. So once you've done that, guys, this is where it starts to get super interesting. It also becomes an incredibly longer task, but honestly, if you want to be invested in your own happiness, you got to do this. It's plain and simple. This might be something this might be part of your 20% in the 80-20 principle. But I guarantee you, by doing things like this, you will enable yourself to spend a lot more time in your 80%. So by doing this 20%, you'll be able to spend more time in your 80%. And essentially what I want you to do is, using these same 4 headings, I want you to break down each and every one of these roles that you do in your life. So for instance, as a CEO, I would be doing the same thing. So I'm just going to rub out these things here to kind of give myself some space and save me writing out all the headings again. Pretty lazy like that. But I would now fill out for every role these kind of things. And this is ultimately going to help me a lot with deciding parts, or well, ultimately in the next part, what roles have 80% of these things that we have to do within that role is things that we enjoy doing, and things that we're good at. So the left-hand side, and it will ultimately showcase to us the roles that are actually really not suited to us, or things that we're not going to get a large return from. Or it may be that there's a lot in the things that we don't enjoy, or things that we're not good at. There might be a lot of things in that things that we're not good at for the role that we play, but they're things that we want to get better at, and we enjoy learning. So there's these trade-offs that occur, but we'll get to that. So things that we enjoy doing, I enjoy doing for a CEO, is a big picture creative. I like leading, and I'll stop there. Obviously, I can go on. Things I don't enjoy doing. I don't enjoy intervening when the company needs me to, but I know it's going to negatively affect the headspace of my team. So sometimes, as a CEO, you see things that others may not, because you're seeing a much greater and bigger picture. And you can see long-term results from some certain things that may be happening in the business, and you have to intervene. I don't like that often. The reason I don't enjoy doing that is because of the way that may make one of my team members feel. And I'm really invested in creating happiness in others. So that becomes difficult. It's part of the job. I have to do those things. But yeah, I just don't enjoy it that much. So things that we are good at, I'm good at helping grow other people. And I'm great at problem solving. Problem solving. Things that I'm not good at, I don't like letting people go. And I'm not tolerant of people who are closed-minded. And again, I could flesh all these kind of things out, but what I'm here to do today is to give you an example. So press pause, fill that out for all the different roles and responsibilities, and that will most certainly take up all of this part 2 of this 3-part series. So again, I hope you are starting to see where this is going now. You're getting great value out of these kind of conversations. I certainly enjoy giving this over to you. And so until next time, my friends, you guys have a wonderful weekend, an awesome week, and we'll catch up next time for part 3, where we start to look at how we can kind of put these things into action points and actually act on some of these points to start delivering to you a more fulfilling lifestyle. So today we've utilized part 1's roles and responsibilities. We've fleshed out what our genius modes are within, or things that we as a person enjoy doing within those roles. And we start to kind of outline to ourselves the roles and responsibilities that we really enjoy doing, and the ones that maybe we need to kind of reflect on, and whether or not we want to grow into those roles, or we want to outsource them, essentially. But thanks very much. I hope you got a lot out of that. And again, I look forward to the last part 3 of this 3-part series with you next time, my friends. Take care, and we'll catch up soon.